न दे। ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग सिर्फ अपने ही कंप्यूटर, मोबाइल और सिक्योर नेटवर्क से करें। हाँ, ये खाने की चैंपियनशिप थी क्या? RBI कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
Hey girls! Hi! Congratulations! आज तो पार्टी चाहिए। पहले चैंपियन के साथ सेल्फी लेंगे।
आइडिया, यही करते हैं पार्टी।
पिज्जा पार्टी। ये चल अपना कार्ड और पिन दे।
मेरे कार्ड की डिटेल्स मैं खुद ही डालूंगी। RBI कहता है अपना पिन, OTP, CVV या इंटरनेट बैंकिंग पासवर्ड किसी के साथ शेयर ना करें। ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग सिर्फ अपने कंप्यूटर, मोबाइल और सिक्योर नेटवर्क से करें।
बाय गर्ल्स, कहाँ जा रही है? सुना नहीं? नो शेयरिंग।
RBI कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
फ्लैश चलाना, लेकिन गलती से भी सड़कों पे ना जाना। देश की और हम सब की लड़ाई में घर पे ही रह के खुद के लिए है हमें लड़ना। अगर रह कर भी हम संग हो तो कौन है कोविड और कैसा ये कोरोना। प्लीज घर पर रहना।
इनमें से एक है आपका डिटर्जेंट और एक फेना। अब आप बताइए कौन सा बेहतर है? ये है ज्यादा सफेद फेना।
ब्लाइंड वॉशिंग टेस्ट में 100 में से 70 लोगों ने फेना सुपर वॉश को अपने डिटर्जेंट से बेहतर पाया है।
अब आप भी लीजिए फेना सफेदी चैलेंज और खुद कहना फेना ही लेना।
दुनिया में कई काम बड़े मुश्किल है, जैसे कि चंद मिनटों में चांद पर पहुंचना, टूथपेस्ट में पेस्ट को वापस डालना। और भैया एक काम है जो है बेहद आसान। अरे भाई वही आधार कार्ड में अपना एड्रेस अपडेट करना। इसके लिए बस आपको UIDAI की वेबसाइट पे जाना है, अपना आधार नंबर डालकर OTP जनरेट करना है, फिर फॉर्म में OTP डालकर अपडेट एड्रेस कर कंफर्म करना है और लो हो गया आपका आधार में एड्रेस अपडेट। आप भी आधार अपना लो, फायदे में रहोगे।
पहला अक्षर एयरट लो तो वह से एक विद्वान होगा। पक्की होगी बुनियादें तो हाँ से हिंदुस्तान होगा। पहले करो शुरुआत करो तो पक्की बात करो।
वंडर सीमेंट, एक परफेक्ट शुरुआत। Every home has a story, and in every story there's a home. It is about you, your relationships, your family. This is the home of your stories. Give your relationships an opportunity to grow and make them beautiful. For you and your near and dear ones, LIC Housing Finance makes a humble request. Stay home. Stay safe.
Welcome to this special broadcast on DD India #tracking COVID-19, your one-stop destination for all that you need to know on COVID-19, the top national and international updates and round reports filed by our correspondents from different parts of the country. I'm Manman Bhattacharya. Let's get started with the headlines. Nation to switch off lights tonight at 9 p.m. for 9 minutes. Light lamps, candles and turn on mobile flashlights to display India's collective spirit in the fight against COVID-19 on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's appeal to end darkness of coronavirus. Cabinet Secretary holds a review meeting with state governments on COVID-19, 274 districts affected by novel coronavirus. ICMR allows a rapid antibody-based blood test for COVID-19, tests meant for symptomatic individuals in cluster zones and in large migration gatherings and evacuee centers starting Wednesday. People showing influenza-like symptoms to be advised home quarantine for 14 days. Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries to get free corona screening and treatment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to former presidents Pranab Mukherjee and Pratibha Patil on novel coronavirus, also discusses COVID-19 with former Prime Ministers Dr. Manmohan Singh and H.D. Deve Gowda. Delhi Police Crime Branch reaches Corona super spreader Markaz Nizamuddin for investigation into the lockdown violation case. 2,300 people were brought out from Markaz on the 1st of April. FIR registered against the Tablighi Jamaat's head, Maulana Saad, and others under the Epidemic Disease Act. An FIR filed against 10 Indonesians for violating tourist visa norms in Sahibabad area of Ghaziabad, all sent to quarantine. Local guide and 4 others who provided them accommodation also booked. Those were the top stories, and let's now take a look at the big picture in India as far as COVID-19 is concerned. The number of active cases currently are 3,219. The number of those who have been cured or discharged are 274. Deaths are 83 in India, and 1 person has migrated. So that's the big picture as far as COVID-19 is concerned. India is doing far better than other countries as far as transmission rate or infection rate is concerned. Now, the Ministry of Power has released frequently asked questions or FAQs on power grid operations during light out tonight. Allaying all doubts about grid instability, we bring you some answers. Well, the first question that comes to one's mind is, are only domestic lights to be switched off, or are street lights, common area lighting, essential services, etc. lights also to be switched off between 9 and 9 minutes past 9 tonight? The answer is only domestic home lights in the houses have to be put off voluntarily, as appealed to by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It has again reiterated that no street lights, common area places, hospitals and other essential services have to switch off their lights. So that's a clear answer. The other question that arises is, are my domestic appliances safe during the said switching off of home lights? To that, the answer is that all your domestic appliances will be safe. There is no need to switch off fans, ACs, fridges, etc. Indian electricity grid is well designed to handle such kind of load variation and has several inbuilt levels of control and safety mechanisms to absorb any kind of frequency changes occurring due to such load violations. So be rest assured on that. The third question, as you can see, is, are adequate arrangements and protocols in place to handle grid stability during a light out event on the 5th of April? And the answer to that is that yes, all adequate arrangements and standard operating protocols are in place to maintain grid stability. The other question that comes to one's mind is it compulsory or voluntary to switch off lights? The answer is it is voluntary. Only domestic home lights have to be put off. The next question is that will this cause instability in the grid and fluctuation in voltage may harm electrical appliances? Can that really happen? The answer to that is that these apprehensions are totally misplaced. These are normal phenomena, and the Indian electricity grid is well designed to handle such load variation and frequency changes as per standard operating protocols. The next question, will our grid management and tech deployed withstand the fluctuation that light out may cause? The answer to that is that Indian electricity grid is robust and stable and employs state-of-the-art technology. It has in place necessary control and protective elements capable of handling such kind of fluctuations in demand at any instant of time. The next question is, should appliances like fans, refrigerators, ACs, etc. be switched off or kept in on mode? The answer to that is that all your domestic appliances would be safe. These appliances should be operated normally as per requirements by the consumers. No need at all to specially switch off at 9 p.m. So just be rest assured. carry out your normal routine, just switch off your lights. The eighth question being that the load of home lighting alone is around 20% of the total load. Would a sudden disconnect of 20% load not destabilize the grid? What measures will the ministry take? The answer to that is the domestic lighting load is much less than 20%. Such kind of reduction in demand can be easily managed, for which standard technical operating protocols are in place. So that should answer all your questions. Just switch off your lights and light your lamps or candles in your balconies. Just do that for 9 minutes at 9 p.m. to express solidarity, and all your questions, if you may have any, have been answered already. In these testing times, people and organizations are coming up with innovations that are helping people combat COVID-19. Pune is showing the way with innovative techniques. Here is an innovative practice by Talegaon Dhabare Municipal Council of Pune District. This feet-touching hand-washing unit that you'll see now is a new way of washing hands without any danger of spreading coronavirus. We can play that out. The council has installed this unit near the entrance of their office to avoid any kind of touch by hands and thus prevent the spread of novel coronavirus. What you're seeing here is actually a disinfectant which has also been put, in fact, by the hospital authorities. In a sense, the Pune Municipal Corporation and the hospital authorities are working in conjunction on this. And before that, I was telling you about a hand washing technique which is different in the sense that one pedals one's feet to take out liquid soap, and that is dispensed in a different manner. So there are different techniques that one can see in Pune itself as far as that is concerned. So we've already told them about Pune. Let's take a look now at the ground reports. The people across the country are counting down to 9 p.m. for spreading the light of awareness for 9 minutes. Here's how Jaipur is gearing up for that. Our correspondent Vishal Baristo reports from Jaipur. And Vishal will be joining us with that ground report. But before that, the entire nation today stands united for the 9 minutes at 9 p.m. And when we'll see the people coming out to their balconies, lighting lamps, lighting diyas, and flashing their mobile flashlights in solidarity with the rest of the country in the fight against COVID-19. Remember the kind of solidarity that we saw on the 22nd of March when the Janta curfew was observed by one and all on a voluntary basis, and at that time we saw how at 5 p.m. for 5 minutes there was applause across the country for all the corona warriors, and now there is this next moment that is coming up for 9 minutes at 9 p.m. to show solidarity with corona warriors, to dispel the darkness of coronavirus, to spread light of knowledge. And that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed to all to ensure that they are there on their balconies at 9 p.m. and they light up their lamps, their diyas, they switch off their lights. Well, Vishal Baristo has filed this ground report from Jaipur. Let's take a look.
आहुति बाकी यज्ञ अधूरा, अपनों के विघ्नों ने घेरा, अंतिम जय का वज्र बनाने नव दधीची हड्डियां गलाएं, आओ फिर से दिया जलाएं. With these words of Atalji, Jaipur and Rajasthan is ready to stand united for the fight against coronavirus. And in the evening, everybody would come out with their mobile phones, with their mobile torches, with their candles, and with their lamps. Though the positive figures have crossed 200 in Rajasthan, but the good news is that there is no positive from Bhilwara, no more positive, which is...
The Chief Minister of Assam, Sarbanand Sonowal, is speaking right now. Let's go across live to that.
The people of Assam healthy and safe. Thank you.
So there was the Chief Minister of Assam appealing to people to stand united and also to follow restrictions as far as the lockdown is concerned. Meanwhile, the Maharashtra government is working on containment of COVID-19 in areas where clusters have emerged, particularly in Mumbai, and working on supply of essential items and medical supplies to those stranded in any part of the state. Our correspondent Shishir Shelar has filed this ground report from Mumbai.
The cluster, the containment zone that we're talking about, the government is implementing those corona containment zone, especially in Mumbai, because Mumbai is the epicenter. We've seen the numbers in Mumbai is increasing, and that's the reason at various locations this containment zone has been established. The government so far is claiming that nearly 9 to 10 lakh people have been traced by people. The contact tracing has been done, and still the government is doing their work here. So in the state, if you look at the entire situation, the contact tracing under the containment zone The government is doing that also. Apart from that, the people who have been stuck at various locations, be it Mumbai or in other parts of the state, the government is making sure that they should get the food and medical supplies and medical facilities also. With Shishir Shilar, TD India, Mumbai.
People in Kolkata are staying home during lockdown, responding to PM's call. They are following social distancing days ahead of the Bengali New Year. They are also gearing up for 9 p.m. 9 minutes. Our correspondent Anibrata reports from Kolkata.
Here at Goriat Market, where we are standing, is a popular shopping destination. In other time of the year, we find that this place will remain abuzz with activities, particularly at a time when Bengali Noboborsho, that is on 14th April this year, is nearing. It's certainly windfall for the sellers this time. But they do not care of this thing because they are responding to the Prime Minister's call of 21 days lockdown to defeat the deadly corona. Social distancing and remaining confined in room is the only way out that they believe. And tonight also, they will respond to Prime Minister's call when they will switch off the lights of their residences, and they will alight the diyas and candles and set it aglow for 9 minutes. Because here the people in Kolkata believe that as every cloud has a silver lining, in one day or other we will certainly defeat the deadly corona. With cameraman Ashok Sharma and Shivnath Bhattacharya, I am Anibrata Bhattacharya reporting for DD News from Kolkata.
The Karnataka government is set to become stricter in implementation of lockdown beginning next week. Our correspondent Aisha Khanam reports from Bengaluru on preparations made by the police personnel for enforcement and how ventilators are being procured by the state.
Karnataka government is preparing for the strict implementation of lockdown in the coming week because the government feels that the next week will be most challenging in terms of handling the spread of coronavirus. The police is given strict instructions to maintain the lockdown and also control the people coming out of their homes. Here we can see the police marching as a flag march and assuring people that they are here for their safety, and they are also sending out a message that they will implement the lockdown strictly. Karnataka government says that they are well prepared to fight coronavirus, and also the government has said that there is no shortage of ventilators in the state and over 1,500 ventilators will be acquired in the next week. The government is also reaching out to the farmers who are suffering because of the lockdown, and many farmers are forced to throw tomatoes and other vegetables on the streets. The government has now agreed to give them support prices and acquire their produce and sell it in the market. So Karnataka government now fighting coronavirus strictly, and the government warning people that the lockdown should be 100% in the next week. Aisha Khanam, TD India, Bangalore.
Our correspondents are now joining us from different parts of the country to tell us about the preparations for responding to PM's call of 9 p.m. 9 minutes. And we are now joined by correspondents. Vishal Baristo is joining us from Jaipur. Yogesh Sheetal is joining us from Mumbai, and Anibrata is joining us from Kolkata. I'll come to you, Vishal, first. How is Jaipur counting down to 9 p.m. 9 minutes?
Well, a very good evening to you, Munmun. Yes, Jaipur is all prepared to spread the light, and let me tell you that people are very much excited here, and they are preparing for all this. They are already decorating their lamps here. As you can see, I would ask the cameraman to show you. There you see, they are already preparing. Now, it's a decoration like Diwali. No, it's not Diwali, but still, you can see people are preparing themselves for the 9 p.m. show. And it's a show of solidarity, and why not? You have to smile, you have to spread the positivity, and you have to drive away the darkness of depression, because people have been sitting inside their houses following the instructions of the government and the authorities for their own safety. But this show of solidarity, it's one nation, it's one feeling, and Jaipur definitely is being part of it, and they've been preparing for this ever since the Prime Minister had announced that you should come out on your balconies, you should maintain social distance, not emotional distance, and that is why people are preparing themselves. So as the clock strikes 9 here in Jaipur, they would switch off their lights and spread the light of lamp, of candles, and of their mobile torches.
Absolutely. Yogesh, how are the people of Mumbai looking at this concept of gathering at balconies and lighting up lamps and diyas? Do they see this as an expression of solidarity?
See, Munmun, we all know that all individuals, whether they are professionals or they are homemakers or they are working with private or government, all individuals are directly or indirectly linked to this uncertain time, and that's the reason why the people have voluntarily coming out to support this initiative, voluntarily coming out to to support with the PM on the PM responding to his call to light diya or any kind of light, even mobile flashlight. And you can see this is Navi Mumbai, where I am standing right now. You can see this is the residential area. We have had word with some of the residents. They have said that they are coming out in support to the people who are standing with them at this very uncertain times, whether they are doctors, they are food providers, they are medical professionals, so they are firefighters, they are police. They are supporting them because they know that they are the key fighter. They are the front fighters at this point in time, and that's the reason they want to support them, and they want to show that yes, they are united. They are united with the country, because unity is the basic thing that is needed at this time. Because it not only it is not confined to a particular city, particular state, but it is just it is spread across the world. So they are just extending their support. They are showing that yes, they are united, and at this point in time, the entire country is united and standing for the people who are fighting for them at this point in time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anibrato, is Kolkata the city of joy, looking forward to those 9 minutes after 9 p.m.?
Yeah, Munmun, people here in Kolkata are absolutely ready to respond to Prime Minister's call. Because earlier we found in the Janata strike, the people also had shown their solidarity, because they believe the solidarity is the core word nowadays to fight the deadly corona that has cast a gloom and shadow all around of us. People here in Kolkata living a sense of uncertainty, because we are living in such a period where this entirely an unconventional scenario evolved everywhere, and all of us are in a troubled water. So people here, we are standing here in South Calcutta, it's Behala. So people here are ready. They will switch off the light in their rooms right at 9 and light the diyas and candles and set it aglow for 9 minutes.
Absolutely.
So because they believe there's this social distancing and remaining locked indoors is the only word that by which we can fight the deadly corona, because this is an unseen virus trying to be a predator, and so people are indeed scared of it. They are trying different means to get rid of this thing.
Absolutely. So that's about the build-up in various parts of the country. Thank you to all the reporters for having joined us to take us through the preparations for that moment. We are all counting down to 9 p.m. after which, for the next 9 minutes, we'll see people gathering in their balconies with the lights, lamps and mobile phones, flashlights. Thank you. And now here's how various countries are faring on the COVID-19 meter. We'll play that out for you later, but here's a look at some of the international news developments now. U.S. President Donald Trump warned that the next 2 weeks will be the toughest and that there will be a lot of deaths. Trump also said that the U.S. government would be deploying thousands of military personnel to states to help them deal with the coronavirus epidemic. He added that 1,000 military personnel are being sent to New York City, including military doctors and nurses. The U.S. has the world's highest number of known cases of COVID-19. More than 3 lakh people have tested positive in the United States and over 8,100 have died. The New South Wales state in Australia today launched a criminal investigation into how thousands of passengers were permitted to get off a cruise ship in Sydney last month, despite many experiencing flu-like symptoms. Nearly a third of Australia's deaths have been attributed to Carnival Corps' cruise ship Ruby Princess, which on the 19th of March was allowed to disembark passengers at Sydney's Circular Quay, many of whom later tested positive for COVID-19. New South Wales Police Commissioner Mick Fuller said that there were many unanswered questions and discrepancies in the information from Carnival Corps. Australia's national total of confirmed cases stood at 5,687 on Sunday afternoon, with the total death toll rising to 34. The death toll in Iran from the outbreak of the new coronavirus has reached 3,603. Health Ministry spokesman Kianush Jahanpur said in a statement broadcast live on state TV today, 151 people have died in the past 24 hours. He said the Islamic Republic now has a total of 58,226 infections, Jahanpur said. The Iranian government will launch a smart distancing plan to better fight against the COVID-19 starting the 8th of April. President Hassan Rouhani said on Saturday the distancing plan, which was launched last month, has attained good achievements, Rouhani said at a meeting of the national headquarters to fight the novel coronavirus. The next phase of social distancing plan is smart distancing, as specifications of which will be laid out, he was quoted as saying. A total of 441 people died from coronavirus infections in France over the past 24 hours, down from a high of 588 the previous day. The Health Ministry director said on Saturday the death toll in French hospitals and nursing homes since the start of the outbreak now stood at 7,560, Jerome Solomon told a news conference. The total number of coronavirus cases in France stood at 68,605 on Saturday, a 6.6% increase compared with the previous day. Central China's Wuhan has seen progress in production resumption as the epidemic there continues to ease. At Wuhan's Donghu New Technological Development Zone, more than 10,000 enterprises had resumed production as of Friday morning, and nearly all the industrial enterprises with an annual revenue of 20 million yuan have resumed operation. That's the revenue that we were talking about. Wang Dian, a production line technical inspector, said that he had returned to work for 11 days and his production line for car seats had already returned to normal capacity of turning out 2,500 seats daily. In another auto parts manufacturer, trucks loaded with car frames were leaving the factory. Air pollution has decreased in Madrid during lockdown to combat the coronavirus, showing on Saturday as clean the skyline of the Spanish capital. After 3 weeks of isolation, Madrid has curbed road transport, the largest source of nitrogen oxides, and slowed output at gas-emitting factories since the 14th of March, when Spanish government approved an initial 15-day period of lockdown and now extended till the 12th of April. The new images released by the European Space Agency and analyzed by the non-profit European Public Health Appliance show the changing density of nitrogen dioxide, which can cause respiratory problems and cancer. Like heat maps, Spanish Prime Minister said on Saturday that he will ask Parliament to extend lockdown measures by 15 more days until the midnight of the 25th of April. Pope Francis celebrated Palm Sunday Mass without the public because of the coronavirus pandemic, which he said should focus people's attention on what's most important despite heavy hearts, using one's life to serve others. Looking pensive and sounding subdued, Francis led the first of several solemn Holy Week ceremonies that will shut out rank-and-file faithful from attending, as Italy's rigid lockdown measures forbid public gatherings. Peru's government said on Saturday that it sent armored military equipment to the border with Ecuador to curb the entry of illegals from the neighboring country, where confirmed cases of coronavirus and the death toll has grown dramatically. Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra said on state television that he ordered the Defense Ministry to increase surveillance on the northern border to stop the spread of the virus. Peru has extended the state of emergency and a curfew until the 12th of April to curb the disease. a measure that has paralyzed the economy and left millions without jobs. Confirmed cases with the virus rose to 1,746 on Saturday, with 73 deaths according to data from the Ministry of Health. And here's a video of nurses from a hospital in Northern Ireland reminding everyone to wash their hands after a 12-hour-long night shift. Their enthusiasm after a hard day at work is both noteworthy and praiseworthy. It's now for all of us to do as they say. And as we count down to 9 p.m., 9 minutes tonight, here are a host of messages posted by celebrities and spiritual leaders underlining the importance of coming together to light the lamp of hope, compassion and unity, from Mata Amritanandamayi to cinestars like Mammootty and Mohanlal, all urging the countrymen to send another message of unity in the fight against COVID-19 by lighting up diyas, lamps, candles, etc. We couldn't play out the celebrity messages for